Hi, I'm Kelly with People Pets, and I am here today with the Kratt brothers from the PBS show Wild Kratts and some of their special friends, and we are celebrating the PBS Kids Going 24/7 channel. Do you want to tell us a bit about that before we meet your buddy here?
Yeah, there's a new PBS Kids 24/7 channel that's launching on Monday, and it has Wild Kratts and all the other great PBS shows, but it airs them 24/7, so kids can access these shows any time of day.
On TV and on the PBS Kids website.
That's great.
And the PBS Kids video app, which you can get for free.
So when kids are demanding more Wild Kratts, you can put it on whenever.
Right.
Now you get any episode.
It's around the clock now, yeah.
Yeah, and actually next week we have 5 brand new episodes airing on snowy owls and electric eels and everything too.
That's
so
awesome.
Cool, yeah.
So for people who aren't familiar with your show, why don't you tell us what it's about?
Well, Wild Kratts is a show about animals, and it's about we show animals in live action, but then we go into animated stories about animals, adventure stories, where we explore animals with the help from creature power suits.
Yeah,
Nice.
and that gives us our animated selves the ability to do anything that animals can do, which, as you know, like different animals can do amazing things, and that's what we call creature powers, and that's what the whole show's about.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So speaking of live action animals, who's this guy?
Yeah.
This is an African dwarf crocodile, and he's just a baby.
He was about to say very dwarf size.
Right, but they are, he'll only grow to about 4 feet long, which seems big,
Yeah.
but it's small for a crocodile. It's actually the smallest crocodilian in the world.
Yeah, and we've filmed also the Nile crocodiles, which are huge, and in Africa, and so there's many different, crocodilian species around the world.
And so how old is this guy right now?
Oh, just a hatchling, months.
But he'll catch insects, little tadpoles, little fish, and even at this age, they're on their own in terms of hunting. So
when did they get booted?
Well, right. Actually, their moms are really good mothers. They lay a nest and they guard the nest from predators for a long time.
Yeah, we have an episode on that called Mom of a Crop, which shows how the moms take such good care of the hatchlings.
And when the eggs hatch inside the nest, they hear their babies chirping, and they have to get out from under the earth. So the mother often scoops the dirt away,
Digs an
and then
escape
she'll
route.
even take the egg in her mouth and help crack it sometimes.
And then she carries the hatchlings in her mouth down to the water.
Wow.
There's a lot of predators that would like to.
Well, I'm sorry for ever doubting crocodile moms.
Yeah, you think?
Oh no! Oh no!
He's okay. Okay, good. Sorry, buddy. Yeah, you think, crocodiles are predators and everything, and they are, but these little guys get preyed upon a lot by other animals.
And the crocodilians also would love to eat these. The American crocodile and the American alligator.
And
would
what
love to
is
eat
this?
This is a nutria.
So it's not like, it looks like a guinea pig.
It's,
he has a friend.
It's an aquatic rodent related to muskrats and beavers, and these are young ones, and they're considered, they're pretty. There's a lot of them. They're introduced species into the southern U.S. So.
And they love broccoli.
Yep, these guys do.
So when you say aquatic rodent, what does that mean?
Well, it's like a muskrat. They, live in the water in the lakes and swamps, and they use water a lot for protection, and also they eat a lot of aquatic vegetation. Yeah, we did an episode on their northern cousin, the beaver. So we have a Wild Kratts episode on them, and they're amazing. The beavers really take it to a higher level, building their lodges and their dams and creating new habitats.
So they don't build dams. They're just.
Nope.
Did
you see their webbed feet? Did you guys take a close look at that? Yeah. See?
That helps with the aquatic part, I imagine.
Aquatic part, the swimming, yeah.
And how big will they get?
They can get as long as this table, I'd say.
Wow.
Bigger than a muskrat, smaller than a beaver.
Right.
Yeah.
So they look pretty small now.
Do you want one?
Sure.
They're really
very
cool.
soft too.
Oh, you're so fluffy. I'm sorry I don't have any more broccoli for you.
Yep.
And Casimira is asking what the name of that animal is again.
Nutria. This animal is called a nutria.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
And are these guys siblings?
Yes.
Yeah, he wants to share.
Fighting over the
Or
broccoli.
steal.
There you go. Pick up that little piece.
There. So who is our next?
Take him and get the next one.
Whoop. And you said these are in America. They're coming
in the southern
to America.
states. Yeah, they were brought here from South America, and now they're really well established in the southern
Okay,
swamps
get all
and
your
lakes and rivers.
scraps.
Yeah.
And this is our
Whoa.
little buddy, a baby olive baboon.
And I see he has a little baboon buddy.
He likes to hug on this stuffy. Yeah, because he's just a baby. So, and you know, baboons in the wild, they hang on to mom for a long time. You know, they have to learn where to find food and that lots of life skills from their mothers.
Yeah, they're incredible
So
social
he's
animals.
still in that mode.
Oh, hello. Where are you going? He's a savanna
Great
baboon.
climber.
Yes. You know, and on the savanna where they live, they have to use trees for survival because they've got lions and leopards and everything wants to grab these
So they get
guys.
around from
Yeah.
jumping to tree to tree?
Well, no, they go out onto the plain during the day, but at night they have to go to trees to sleep. That's the only way they can survive. But even leopards can sometimes still get them in the trees. So they work together. The male baboons are really quite big and pretty tough. Yeah.
And very curious. See, he's looking around everywhere, trying to figure everything out.
Yep, we're here.
How to get to places.
There you go. There's your buddy.
So, and then how long would they stay with mom usually when you say that they're holding on to mom for a while?
They'll stay with mom, holding on to mom and riding around to mom for a year or so.
Wow.
First year. And then they start, I don't think he wants to leave me.
He wants to be on
Here,
camera.
I'll take him off. Here, you can put him back on me.
I think he wants to be on both of them.
He wants to be with Kratt brothers.
He just wants to be center of the camera.
Yeah, he's not letting us go.
Hey.
And how big is he going to get?
Oh, he'll get pretty big, like the size of a medium-sized dog. Yeah.
And Katie wants to know, how old is he?
He's
6 months old.
Yep.
Yeah.
And how big will he grow to be?
There we go. I'll get the next one.
He'll grow to be. They grow to be pretty big, especially the males, which he is. They'll be, if it's sitting on this table about
Yeah,
this big.
something that could be intimidating to a leopard.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
And now this next animal is an awesome animal called a binturong. And smell this animal. What does that smell like?
It smells like Doritos.
Yeah, it smells like Doritos. See, to me, it's like buttered popcorn. And they've done studies of the smell of a binturong, and it's the same chemical that is in buttered popcorn.
Really?
Yeah, and nobody really knows why. But this is an animal we're doing a Wild Kratts episode on 6th season.
And you can
For
see
sure.
how he's got his tail wrapped around Martin's neck.
That's a
prehensile tail. So it's a tree-dwelling animal, really good at climbing, so it grabs onto branches with its tail.
Yeah.
And so,
And these get big. As an adult, he will be as big as this table, even overlapping the table. And they're related to they're vivarid, related to mongooses and hyenas and
Hyenas,
civets.
really?
Yeah. And but they live in the rainforests
In
of
the
Asia.
trees?
Yeah, and they get really, really big. And you can see his claws. He's got really good claws on every foot for climbing, and the prehensile tail, which a lot of monkeys have for climbing.
and how strong is that, the tail? Pretty strong?
Really strong, like an arm. Yeah, he could. You want to?
Do you want it?
Yeah,
Sure.
They like to eat fruit.
I don't have any
fruit
food for you.
eaters.
Yeah.
Hi.
Then you'll feel that.
Oh,
tail.
wow, he really does smell like popcorn.
See when you get close.
Hi.
It's true.
Okay, I'm gonna make sure he doesn't.
Yeah.
And Rebecca says her 4-year-old daughter is loving this. And Tyra wants to know, what do they eat?
These guys, these binturongs, they eat fruit. They love fruit. And so they go out around at night. They're nocturnal. I'm not sure if Martin covered that, but they're nocturnal. And so they go around the forest at night eating fruit.
And Katie wants to know how long they live for.
Oh, how long they live for? That's a good question. I would say about 20 years, but I'd have to check on that. Yeah.
And Benji says, you guys are awesome. Keep up the good work. You're like the Bill Nyes of nature. I think is the ultimate compliment.
Thanks. Okay, you got the next
Here's
one?
another tree-dwelling animal. Actually, yeah. Here, let's see. We can't.
Do you
A
need-
two-toed sloth. One of your favorites. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sloth shirt for the occasion. We do not smell like popcorn.
No.
So there are 3-toed sloths and 2-toed sloths.
And do they live in different areas?
Well,
Or
they can overlap.
Yeah, they
they're all in
can.
the rainforest.
But both 3-toed and 2-toed sloths have 3 toes.
Oh.
But the 2-toed sloths have 2 fingers.
So
And the
three
3-toed sloths
toes.
have 3 fingers.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And if you've been watching Wild Kratts, you might have seen our sloth episode. There are so many cool things about sloths. One of the cool things is their muscle control. They're really strong.
Really?
Because they do everything slow motion, you know? They hang and turn in slow motion, and that takes a lot more muscle control. Like, look.
Wow, yeah, it's good core strength.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they have to have.
And then, so they spend most of their life upside down then, I'd imagine.
Yeah, they
Just
do.
like this.
In fact, they often have their part for their fur is on their belly.
So the rain
so
will
the rain
flow
drips
off.
down. And they often have algae
I was about to say,
growing
I heard
on their
they
fur.
They have their own little ecosystem.
They do, and there's an animal called the sloth moth, which spends its life inside the fur.
And that doesn't bother them.
No, no.
And I hear that they spend a lot of time up in the trees and only come down to use the restroom every so
That's
often.
right. Yeah, you're sloth.
Yeah, well, I'm a big fan, so.
We're getting a ton of love for the sloths. Amanda just said, I love sloths so much. Can people have sloths as pets?
Well, sloths are really hard to have as a pet because they have to have certain leaves for their diet. So, and they're very tropical leaves. So it's really hard to give them, and they will eat some bananas and fruit, but it's really hard to give them the right foods that they need. So sloths are better to, see at a zoo or even better in the wild. Although they're hard to find in the wild. We've been on adventures in the Amazon trying to find sloths and in Costa Rica, and you got to get lucky to see them.
Because they blend in pretty well?
Yeah, because they're so camouflaged.
Now, for everyone watching, especially kids, how did you guys get involved in this work? What would you recommend for children who are interested in animals and want to make it part of their lives?
Well, we grew up in the wilds of suburban New Jersey, right?
Really crazy place, yeah.
And that's where we had our first creature adventures, but there's animals everywhere. There were box turtles and garter snakes and frogs and raccoons. So we had our first adventures just checking them out in the backyard as kids, and then we just learned, we read every book we could about animals and watched every documentary. And then just start going on adventures yourself in the park, backyard, on vacation, and observing animals in the wild.
Yeah,
great.
When we were in college, we picked up a camcorder and we went down to Costa Rica and we made a wildlife video that we thought was fun. And we brought it back and showed it to kids. Kids liked it, and that was sort of how things started. It took about 5 years to finally get our first TV show, but that was the beginning.
And here you guys now. That's awesome.
And Clyde wants to know, how old is this sloth?
Oh, this is a
20
very old
years.
sloth, a 20-year-old
And her name
sloth.
is Serenity?
Serenity.
Yeah.
Wow.
very
And
chill.
are those, what is their lifespan usually?
I think in the wild, it would be hard for them to live that long because there are harp eagles which prey on them, and different jungle cats would grab them if they find them.
Yeah, can't really run away too fast,
No.
unfortunately.
But it's the camouflage. It's the just staying still with the algae-colored fur. That's what they rely on, the camouflage.
And if anybody wants to learn more about sloths, they can check out our episode on sloths on the PBS channel.
Yeah,
the
it's
new
called
kids channel.
Rainforest Stew.
And then the new 24-hour channel is launching on Monday,
On
the
Monday.
16th.
Yep.
Yep.
And so what does that mean for parents and kids?
That means that parents can watch the show 24. They can watch it on their regular PBS station, but they can also watch it on the new channel.
Like Wildcrats will air many, many times a day.
Right.
At different
Evenings,
times.
before bedtime, or whenever. And then they can also stream it online at pbskids.org, and they can get the free PBS video app. and
Great.
watch it
So
that
if
way.
you're at dinner at the wilds in suburban New Jersey, you can turn you guys on and watch.
That's right.
That's awesome. Well, I want to thank you guys for coming and talking to us.
And Denarius
Kyle.
wants to know if
Sorry.
sloths are still endangered in the wild.
Well, sloths are definitely threatened because they depend on rainforest, and rainforest is being cut down. As far as being endangered, do you think they're endangered?
I'm not sure. We'd have to
we'd
check
have to check
the
that.
exact
Well,
distinction.
yeah.
Yeah.
Going off of that, what is a great way that people can help animals and conserve species and protect the wild animals on our planet?
Well, the most important thing is that they have a place to live, right? So I think, as humans, we've just got to make sure we protect wildlife habitat if we want animals like this to be around.
Right.
And so that's one of the most important things is protect their habitat and ours.
Looks like, how heavy is she?
She's pretty heavy after a while. Yeah, I'm not as strong as a sloth. I can hold her forever.
And April
She's
says
got-
her 7-year-old son, Sam, wants to know, how slow do they walk?
Oh, when they're on the ground, they walk pretty slow, but they can swim too.
Yeah, I was about
if
to
they
say, they're
need
great
to.
swimmers,
Yeah.
right?
I'm pretty sure they move through the trees just a couple miles per hour.
Yeah.
That's their
Well,
top speed.
They
right?
want to move
That's a
slow
run.
because they don't want to be seen, right? So
Right.
the slower they move, the better.
You guys gonna do a?
Yeah.
I'm going to do a swap.
Oh, no, it's okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And Cynthia says she loves your shows. Because of your show, she passed her biology class with an A.
Wow.
Awesome.
That's
He just wants to go down.
So what are you?
Sloth's saying goodbye.
What do you guys have planned for the future? Do you guys have what episodes can we expect next? What animals?
Yep, right now we're doing a season 5 of our show. So we have 118 half-hour episodes out right now, and we're doing 20 more new ones right now.
Wow.
We're working on them as we speak. There are some India episodes that are really cool. Tigers, king cobras.
And a
sloth
new
bears.
Halloween special.
Ooh,
Creepy animals.
spooky animals?
Yeah. So that's going to be an hour special for next Halloween.
And Elena says her 13-year-old wants to know what schooling is needed to do what you do.
Well, we both studied zoology in college. We went to college for zoology, and also learned about animals on our own, and then went off exploring and making videos.
That's great.
And Elizabeth wants to know what your favorite animal is.
Ooh, tough one.
That's really
It's a
hard to choose.
really tough
What
one.
I
We know
do
yours.
is
Yeah.
I can't choose is I come up with a new one every day. You know, and actually hanging out with the sloth, mine's sloth for today, or maybe binturong, because that binturong was really
Pretty cute. Do you have one?
Yeah, I'll say tigers. We were just
Wow,
filming them,
okay.
and they were pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys again, and make sure to check out Wild Kratts, especially on the PBS Kids 24/7 channel, which launches on Monday, January 16th. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
you.
We'll see you on the creature.
Yeah, exactly.